very special guest today.
Yep.
A long time friend, an artist. My boy Billy Hendrix in the building. Make some noise, everybody. Let's go.
Yeah, Billy Hendrix.
All right, let's get it. How you feeling today, man?
You know what I'm saying? We breathe it. We healthy. You know what I'm saying? Can't complain, bro. Can't complain. Honestly, I can't complain.
Okay. So, like, here at the Riot World, I want to build a universe as to like what we're really doing with this podcast.
Right.
Introduce everybody as kind of like a character, but something that everybody can interact with. And
Okay.
You being, I believe, one of the first interviews that we're doing.
Right.
I want to let the people know who you are and what you're all about. So, let's get into it. Billy Hendrix. Tell me, who you are and where you come from.
Oh yeah. Well, of course, Billy Hendrix, of course. But my name is actually William Hendrix.
Mm-hmm.
But I like Billy Hendrix because I don't like William because that shit sound white. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's a common name though, but it's cool. You know what I'm saying? But it don't really stick to what I'm pushing in my music.
Okay.
So I just switched it up to Billy Hendrix. You know me, I've had like all types of names with this music shit.
Yeah, for sure. Because I've known you for a
we were
while,
babies,
and you've had
16,
4 or
17.
5 different names that
Right.
people have known you by. So,
Right.
Billy.
Right, but Billy, I feel like that's like my final form.
Okay.
It's like that's where I stand on now. Like that's where I want to be as an artist.
Okay.
Which is me. You know what I'm saying? Which is Billy Hendrix, which is me. You know?
Yeah. How old are you?
I'm 25. I just turned 25 in July.
25. Okay, big 25. Yeah. So, you being 25, where do you come from? Like, where's your place of birth?
Place of birth was out here, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. What side of town?
Phoenix.
East side of Phoenix?
East Phoenix.
East
Well, in the
Phoenix.
little, what's that fucking, like, Good Samaritan? It's like Good Samaritan, but now they got, like, a Banner Hospital next to it now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do, actually. That's crazy.
Yeah, I was born there. I thought I was born in New York because I grew up there when I was a child. But
Right.
Like, on paper, like I'm from Arizona, which
Wow.
is actually a trip. Like that story is a whole trip. And that's
See, I didn't even know that.
So, yeah, I didn't either until I was 24. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking I'm from New York, stumping New York. You know what I'm saying? When really on paper, it's like, nah, I was born out here. But 2 months after I was born, you know what I'm saying? Shit went down, and then my mom took me back to New York because we had more family out there and shit. You know what I'm saying? And after, like...
What part of New York were y'all?
Uptown Manhattan.
Uptown Manhattan.
So that's Harlem World. If you don't know, Harlem World, we
Okay.
in here, you know what I'm saying? Sugar Hill, you heard? We out here.
Okay. And then, so, being in New York, tell me some of, your first memories out there in New York. Like, some of the
Honestly,
first things that you remember.
Family, bro. Like, of course I have homies and everything, but it was, like, inside the house. You know what I'm saying? How everything was structured inside my house.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So, of course, I feel like as a generation, we all come around and it's like, you can't go outside unless you get shit done. You know what I'm saying? You can't go outside unless you doing your homework or doing your shit. But there's, older siblings and shit who are bad influences.
Yeah.
So they, you know what I'm saying? This is how you can get outside without really doing all your homework type shit. But then there were those siblings who really sat me down and was like, nah, bro. Like, do it the right way. You know what I'm saying? So
How many siblings do you have?
On my mom's side or on my dad's side?
Just all together. A lot.
I don't want to give y'all no number because my dad was a hoe, low key. So you know what I'm saying? My dad was a hoe, to say the least. So
Okay.
yeah, it was busy. It was busy in there. You know
Okay,
what I'm
but some of your closest relatives,
Yeah.
how many you can count?
saying? Like 7.
7. Okay.
Because I got 4. My mom's got 4, and my dad has 13.
Okay.
Not my dad's baby. I'm my mom's oldest.
Right.
So I had the best of both worlds in that too.
Okay. And then, so being out in New York, what kind of inspired you about being in New York? Because, as long as I've known you, it's always been, that type of vibe.
Right.
So what inspires you about that?
Well, it's just, most of the time when you first met me, it's because I missed it. You know what I'm saying? It's we're far away from that. You know what I'm saying? We're far away from a lot of cultures that I grew up to. A lot of the lingos and how I dressed when I first got back to Arizona, niggas wasn't really feeling it. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't it was in a disrespectful way. They were pressing me, but they were looking at me weird. Why is he dressed like that? Why does he talk like that?
Right.
But they could correlate with it because a lot of people in New York, you know what I'm saying? It's just something that we carry, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's a certain how we carry ourselves, how we interact with people. That's the memories about New York. It's everybody out here be hot. You know what I'm saying? They be mad for no reason, mean mugging. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's New York, you got them too. But everybody, for the most part, they trying to go get it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and to say that, like I went and visited New York this year, and it was kind of like that. Like people were interacting with each other more so than they would interact with each other out here.
Out here, right?
You know, and it was a lot more of like a community. Of course, it was a lot going on at once, but like for real, like you could talk to people out there and interact with them and learn. You know, about what's going on around you.
But then again, it is hot as hell out here. So it's like you step outside and you automatically have an attitude.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, damn. It's like, fuck. It's hot as fuck.
So when did you come out here? Do you remember coming out here or do you?
Yeah, because I was like middle school.
Okay.
Like 7th grade. So I was like 13, 14. You know what I'm saying? Like breaking into my puberty and shit. That's when I first came back out here. When I first came back out here, I didn't come to Phoenix. I was in Casa Grande.
Okay.
We was living in a little subdivision and shit out there, like living it up or whatever. Because, of course, you know, like New York, there's a lot more money out there. So you come out to Arizona, you can get shit.
For sure.
So you know what I'm saying. That's the starting point from when I started out here. You know what I'm saying, that I could remember.
Yeah.
So.
And then
that was the experience was different.
So you went out there around middle school time, and then like what 7th, 8th grade?
Yeah, 7th, 8th grade, like 13, 14. Yeah.
Okay. And then you went to high school. Where'd you go to high school?
Freshman year, I went to the art school, NSA art school.
Okay, and I think that's interesting because NSAA, you know, I'll get into it more later on, but like NSAA, I know about through certain ways, and like, you know, it's a very interactive like arts high school that is in Arizona and it's in Tempe. So how did that inspire you? You know, what brought you to that art school and what?
So maybe you want to go to art school?
Yeah.
Well, because I always used to write all the time.
Okay.
Like even when I was a kid, not really like songs or nothing yet. Not even poems really, but like little short stories. Cause I had like, I don't know, I wouldn't say ADD or ADHD, but I couldn't keep so much shit in my head because I started like going fucking crazy and shit.
Right.
So I needed an exit, and writing stories was my exit. You know what I'm saying? Then it grew to poems. Then it grew to songs. So by the time I was getting into songs, I was like middle school when I first came back out here. So then that's when my mom was just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you could go to high school for this shit. Like, they could train you. You could audition. You could get grants to go to, what was that school? Berkeley or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was my mom was shooting for. So it was dope. Like, NSA was dope. It was dope as fuck. I learned a lot from NSA. Especially my freshman year, for sure.
Okay. And you say you started writing. Did you get into making music, or were you like kind of stuck into writing during high school, as far as like creativity, like what you were doing?
I was just really exploring, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's what brought me to write rap music. You know what I'm saying? Especially you play a part in that too. Cause you know I used to come up to you at high school and be like, "Look, bro, I got some shit."
Yeah.
And you'd be like, "Bro, put that over a beat. That should be hard."
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think you for sure play a part in that. You know what I'm saying? Like as my growing up aspect. Of course, like you got our idols and our celebrities and shit. But,
yeah.
Like as a homie, like for sure, like you gave me that confidence, like I could do that shit. So I fucking took that shit.
For sure, and I see that just as far as your energy, you know, like you said, like it's always been about energy, you know, it's always been about like what you want to get back from a situation and what you want to do, and I feel like it just attracts everything that you want, especially when you're trying to achieve a goal. Right. So like, you know, so now after getting into writing, you started making music. Right. So what is like some of your first memories making music?
First memories making music, you go back to like as a writer.
Yeah.
I feel like you kind of go back into like what inspires you or what made you feel good at first as a hip hop artist. You know what I'm saying? Or as a human being in general. So you think about shit that you were listening to when you was growing up. You know what I'm saying? So
what are some of the things you listened to when you was coming up?
So some of the things I was listening to was like a span of range of shit. So a lot of it was oldies. Like I wasn't really listening to rap like that unless I was around like my pops. Like my mom wasn't really heavy on rap like that. Okay. When she did play rap, it wasn't like thug ass fucking, you know, Oakland niggas or some shit. She would play some Tupac, but it wasn't like hey Hail Mary type shit. You know what I'm saying? It was like good Tupac. It was like good Tupac. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But you go around the fellas, then you start hearing different music. You know what I'm saying? You start hearing more aggressive music. A lot of the shit was southern too, like UGK. That was like one of my first ones that made me feel in terms of a beat. Like UGK used to slap for me,
sure,
you know what I'm saying? As a kid, like they just had slappers as a southern sound. So I feel like that just really brought me into like trying to sound like them, but no, don't be them. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could try to sound like them. You could grab these beats. You know what I'm saying? Grab these sources or whatever, but try to be in your own lane. You know what I'm saying? Do what you want to do. because these are our idols. You know what I'm saying? Like Tupac is one of my favorite idols.
Yeah.
But I don't walk around like I'm Tupac because I'm not Tupac. Right?
Yeah.
So it's like you got to get what you can get from these artists, and then just keep it pushing from there. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Okay. So now, like when we get into music from you, I think like what's going on? Cash is up in here tripping. Yeah. All right. Go take it. Yeah, it's Gucci. We good. We rolling.
All right, come on.
But yeah, so basically, like when I think about you and music, I like one of my first things that I go to is the freestyle that you did. What was it called?
Which one?
Exercising all my demons. You said exercising all my demons.
Yeah, that was the calm.
The calm freestyle, man. That's one of my favorite pieces of work that you've ever done.
Right.
If people don't know, go check out the calm. It's on his Insta. Yeah, it's on his SoundCloud. The link will be down below, so you'll be able to check that out instantly. Sure. And you know, when you're creating music, what are some of the energies that you're tapping into? And tell me about a little bit of something that you're working on right now.
Okay. So which one first? The creativity or what I'm working on? Which one?
Creativity.
Creativity, that's like you have to find your own creativity space.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like you have to break into that. But it's like repetition. You know what I'm saying? Like people think practice make perfect. Practice doesn't make you perfect. It just makes you more aware of what you can do. You know what I'm saying? And I really pay attention to shit like that. I'm not really like optimistic like that or nothing. But it's like practicing in a creative space makes you want to do different things. You test yourself. You know what I'm saying? You want to make yourself feel better and see yourself grow as a creative artist.
Right.
Right? Now, as a like somebody who's put down content, I'm not really like, I don't know. I'm not pressed to be talking about shit that don't matter. Or shit that I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
It's more deeper with me, with my music. Like, I want my music to push past this life. Because a lot of people think this is our only life. But it's about the music that can penetrate this life to the next one. And you can still hear and you can still remember. I feel like artists like that, it's like Michael Jackson. Like certain people, certain artists, we know who they are by the spirit. Just kind of like iconic things.
Where they kind of have like they're able to have like people that sound like them as opposed to they sound like somebody else. Like nobody sounds like Michael Jackson. Nobody sounds like Tupac. But you can say certain artists like, you know, like Weeknd, you know, he almost tries to do like a Michael, people be like, oh, he sounds like Michael Jackson on this song or
Chris Brown.
Yeah, he sounded like Michael Jackson on this song. You know, you can't really say that, you know, about an artist like Michael Jackson that has that everlasting sound. And I think that's something that we're all trying to achieve as an artist is having that originality, you know? And like really like penetrating that, tapping into that like energy of where everybody can hear it and be like, wow.
And it's limitless.
Yeah, for sure.
Like that's a lot of. It's a challenge again. That goes into creativity. I feel like content goes into creativity. You know what I'm saying? But they're both different levels. You know what I'm saying? But if you can accomplish those levels through practice, just not even on a major level, you ain't even got to do it big. Just for yourself, you start getting more creative. Now you're starting to amplify these different characteristics you may have not had before. Right. Because you're in these spaces all the time.
Now, yeah, of course. Now, what are you working on right now?
So right now, like, dug up a few songs. Some of them, like, old ass songs from like 2020 when we was like, I was trading a Hotbox studio. Yeah. So I'm gonna get that little EP out, and then I'm working on something like serious, like a 10-song project. Okay. So I want to do that like early next year. But I want to get my little EP out the way like before the end of the year, for sure. Right, and Mesa if people finna drop, you know what I'm saying?
Mesa, yeah, shout out. Mesa actually, yeah, let's shout out real quick. Everybody, shout out Mesa the Crook. You know, he's about to drop his new album.
West Side with Love.
Yup. From the West Side with Love, September 9th. So everybody go check that out. Yeah, it's gonna be dope. But yeah, so you're working on. So you say you're working on a 10-track album, and you're working on an EP. You like working on EPs or albums more?
I feel like it depends on where my headspace is. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to just say like, oh yeah, I got enough content to do a project, but it don't make it feel like it's a project. But that's another level of creativity spaces. EPs are quick. Yeah. You can get them in and get them out because they're small.
Yeah. Do you feel like? Because I feel like, you know, you hear a lot today that, you know, singles and just consistently is always the route when it comes to blowing up as an artist.
Right.
And kind of, nowadays the album, route isn't really the wave when it comes to getting to where you want to be, especially when you're an artist coming up.
True.
How do you feel about that?
So it's like, you gotta think about in a J. Cole Kendrick aspect. Yes, it was in a different time, right? So that was back when, quote unquote, projects really mattered. But even then, when hard CDs were coming out, motherfuckers was just putting one good song on that CD, and motherfuckers would go buy the CD just for that one song. So it's like, now it's like they took both of those lanes. Certain artists are caliber artists to where they can put out full projects and make it feel like an experience the whole way through.
Right.
Certain people can't. You know what I'm saying? And that's not to take away from somebody who can't. It's just maybe singles are their things, I've never sat through a whole Lil Baby project, but he had singles that hit, you know what I'm saying? Like Young Thug, I've never sat through a whole Young Thug project. Well, his latest shit was kind of fire, but like his old shit, like I wasn't really listening top to bottom to Young Thug.
Yeah.
It's the singles, of course. So it's like two different lanes. That's how I try to depict that out. It's like two different lanes.
Now, like, you have the artists that go the single route, and you have the artists that go the out, like, the album route. What do you feel like for you is the route?
That's another thing. Because we're so early in the progress, it's like I still can test that. You know what I'm saying? I still can have that theory, like what's best for me. Not even what's best to get the bag, but what's best on how to push my content and like have limitless music, but also limit myself on how much I'm putting down. You know what I'm saying? You an asshole for that. Catch your asshole, but yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So that's like the type of shit.
Okay. Now, like, so you had, I remember you put out an album back in 2018. Yeah, you put out an album out in 2018. It was 5150, and EP, I had a feature on there. But it was Riot, like, but you had that whole project, and actually the thing that piqued my interest, and I know the viewers will be able to see it when they, click the link in the description below, is, you have a very different type of sound.
I do.
It's not, it's a very current sound, but it also has like this swing, like this different type of swing to it,
twist,
like a song like Ace. Right. where it was, you were grooving on that song. Like, I ain't gonna lie, that was a different type of beat, all that. Yeah. Songs like Upon Arrival, right. Where it was a
different energy, but like,
yeah, like
I approached it differently.
Yeah, because you talk about real stuff. You talk about like the like even in the freestyle, you talk about like the original, like you talk about some crazy shit, like some street shit. You talk about some street shit, but then you're talking, like some Bible shit, like the creation, the origin of man. Yeah. You say like
David and Goliath was a lie.
Yeah, like some shit, and and it could like offend some people, and
that's blasphemous for sure.
It was, but you had a point. I think the whole thing was you had a point to make. Right. Do you feel like you have a point to make when it comes to making your music, like an overall point that you could say, and it's okay if you don't, but do you feel like you have an overall point you want to make with your music?
I mean, I feel like in the beginning, no, I was just doing the music because I felt like it made me feel good. It was like an exit, you know what I'm saying, somewhere I could express myself. Now, hell yeah. Now the information that I know and the books that I've read and all the like, people be paying attention to like shit on the internet, like they find on fucking Wikipedia or some shit, or a source or some shit, when they actually don't pick up the fucking book. Them yellow pages, bro, like old school books. That got all the fucking shit in there, you know what I'm saying? Everything that's on the internet, they just break it down from that book and throw it in the internet. So once you start picking up different energies like that, you feel obligated. Now your demons are really gonna be on your head because now you know better. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you gonna be a part of the problem. You gonna glorify street shit and not really, you know what I'm saying, be on your shit like that. Yeah. You're not gonna get on niggas' heads. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really feel like only certain artists have that in them. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's dope to make music. It's dope to be like, I'm a street nigga that made it out. You know what I'm saying? That's the American dream. You know what I'm saying? You out here doing your shit, illegally, legally, whatever the fuck, dishwasher shit, and you get to a point where you fucking can pull all your friends on. But it's like, how are you doing it, though? How are you doing it? Are you burning bridges on the way to the top? Are you stepping on backs? You know, are you snaking niggas out just to get it? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I would pay attention to through the music. Right. So it's like, that's another thing. It's like, we gotta separate
Cause you see that a lot. You see that a lot nowadays. You see that a lot nowadays. Even just like in mainstream culture, it's kind of crazy. Like, just like the whole situations in rap, like whole situations, and people are breaking it down and doing the police shit and like, for real,
crazy shit.
It's crazy. It's crazy out here, you know. And it's like whole stories about real tragic situations, and it's glamorized. And I be scrolling on Snapchat, and it's, oh, this person got into this terrible situation that if it happened to you, you know, people would be devastated. But they be want to make fun of it, and they want to, you know, clown on the internet.
It be making me mad, bro, because motherfuckers feel so involved, bro. Like with the fucking Young Boy and Lil Durk shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Everybody think they 4K Trey and shit down. Like, I mean, there's a certain, I understand influence. I understand that.
But as a fan, you're not a part of that.
Right, but that's the line that motherfuckers gotta draw. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Motherfuckers gotta draw that line with themselves. Otherwise, you'll have shit like how messy the internet is right now. Honestly, if we could organize the internet, it would be over. Organize.
That's very true.
It's just messy right now. Everybody going on there when they like feelings is hurt, or you know what I'm saying, they had a rough day, or they trying to post some shit because they just came up. Like, that's cool. Like, do your shit. But look at the fucking cesspool of that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Look what that shit's bringing in. Now, everybody feels like they got to do that shit.
Now, when it comes to music, how do you feel about, you know, because you being from New York, you have New York drill. You know, there's the biggest artists in the world, you know, like Lil Durk and G Herbo. It's Chicago drill. How do you feel about the culture of drill and being in music now?
Okay, so I understand it from a neighborhood aspect. So I understand it when you like protecting your neighborhood from motherfuckers who's trying to come in there and do whatever fuck they want. I understand that, right? Anything past that though, I don't give a fuck. I don't, because it's like, what the fuck are you doing it for? Like, niggas is gangbanging for what?
Clout.
Bitch is money. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the fuck. It's not about really protecting where they come from. Yeah, they can always be like, yeah, that's why we do it.
Well, I mean, maybe rappers. Do you know rappers that do it? Or do you feel like it's on the other side too?
It's goofy right now, bro. All that shit is goofy. If you gangbang up to me, now I ain't gonna bring nobody else in there. I'll stand alone on this. If you gangbanging in 2022, and you not on no Nipsey shit about it, you sloppy, bro. You sloppy with me, bro. It's let's go get this money, bro. I don't give a fuck about no beef, bro. That was what the 80s was about. That's what the 90s was about. So us still getting into beefs and shit is stupid, bro. Stupid.
Especially over the internet.
Especially over the internet.
Especially over like YouTube and music videos. But it's happening because it's happening because of music and YouTube videos though.
See?
Like a lot worse. Like I'm not gonna say a lot worse. I'm gonna say a lot more glamorized. Like I don't understand how I'm seeing this shit as like real news stories as to who and what and when and where, because they make music.
Right.
It's crazy.
It's a setup, bro. That shit is a setup. I feel like being a gang member is a setup.
But I love all the music though. I love all the music.
Of course. That's why I try to say, like, you can't separate somebody from their music. But you can. In certain instances, it's like you kind of have to. Like, I'm not going to fucking sit here and say I don't fuck with Tupac because he got convicted of a rape charge. But you still listen to Tupac.
But you know, when you say things like, you know, you can't respect gangbanging in a certain time, it's like, you know, maybe it's because of you know, you can't hold it against them, but it's because they are on some, I'm just from where I'm from and I'm trying to protect my own shit.
That's cool. But you out here beefing.
On the internet. Is what you saying.
On the internet. Sloppy. Messy. Because there's two type of justices.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
You feel me?
Yeah.
But it's a real thin line, though. So a lot of people don't go down that line. Because that's real thin. You know what I'm saying? You could get, you know what I'm saying? Like, going into them type of politics. But nobody can tell me I can't talk about it when I grew up with it. No, am I with it? No. But nobody can say I can't have no fucking type of way of feeling about it.
I feel that.
And that's what I fight for in my music. Because once you isolate these certain people that grew up in these certain areas with gang members and shit, like shit going on outside, like how you expect these people not to feel no certain way? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Regardless if they want to get put on the hood or not. You know what I'm saying?
I feel that.
So it's like, where are we going with it at the end of the day?
Yeah.
Where's gangbanging going? Are we trying to unite the people? Are we trying to get motherfuckers together? Or are we just trying to reunite the troops to go fucking shoot another hood up, nigga? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we doing? That's my whole thing with the gang shit, bro. And I stand on that shit. Been standing on that shit.
And what do you feel like if let's say everybody were to be able to get on the same page and be like, yo, instead of fucking all this shit up in our own, communities, what do we do from there? What would you do? What would you say we would like come together and do?
Honestly, there's only one word. We're gonna have to adapt, just like any other situation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Once they took the Panthers, we had to adapt, which made games. You know what I'm saying? So cool, yeah, we made games from that. Cool. But that's almost 50 years ago. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And we're still on that same shit, same agenda of that game shit.
I got a question, and now don't feel like I'm trying to pull away from this topic, but do you? I mean, you sound like you read books. You read a lot of books.
I do.
What are some of the books, like some of your favorite books that you would recommend to the people?
So right now I'm reading a book called Song of Solomon. It's a deep ass book. I only read like fucking 10 pages. And I was like,
yeah.
I put that motherfucker down. I was like, this shit's some deep shit.
Mm-hmm.
But I also got through the Spook by the Door. That's obviously a good one.
The Spook That Sat by the Door?
There you go. What did I say?
The Spook by the Door.
Was it close?
It was close.
All right, cool.
Okay,
all right,
yeah.
All right. And then I can't put down Malcolm X's book. I will always read that fucking book.
I remember in high school you was putting me on. I read some of that, and yeah.
Every 5 years I try to read that. So I'm 25 now, so I was gonna read it again. So you know what I'm saying? I'm going through that shit again. And I like doing that every 5 years because you read it differently. You have a new mind. You have a new mindset. You know what I'm saying? So you start to mature in your mindset. So it's like I can read things and take things a different way.
Yeah.
Versus when I first picked it up when I was 15. You know what I'm saying? Reading that type of book, you gonna want to do something to somebody.
Right.
But as you get like from 15 and then I was 20, and then I had a different mindset. Like you gotta attack this justice system or the system or whatever the fuck you want to call it. You gotta attack that shit differently. Because in the beginning, yeah, we do have our Malcolm X's and fucking Martin Luther King, but we have motherfuckers that a lot of people don't talk about. You know what I'm saying?
Like who?
Stokely Carmichael.
Tell me about him.
Huey P. Newton.
Tell me about the first person.
Stokely Carmichael, he was a Panther. He was like one of the first Panthers. Like this is like one of the first generation though. You know what I'm saying? Like he was out here with Huey P. Newton. Mm-hmm. You got Fred Hampton. That was Chicago. They made a movie off that shit. It was with the dude from Get Out. They Judas and the Black Messiah, I think it was called. That movie's about Fred Hampton. Of course they gonna, you know what I'm saying? They gonna make it entertaining. But a lot of that shit was actually real. You know what I'm saying? Like they did shoot him in his sleep, right next to his pregnant woman. I think they killed her too. You know what I'm saying? They put that in the movie, but you know what I'm saying? Like it's shit like that really charges me up. You know what I'm saying? It makes me upset.
Cause we're still in 2022 and
it's the same shit going on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I had a friend that died by Tempe police. You know what I'm saying? My homie Dalvin, they got him. He did do some. He was on some shit. You know what I'm saying? He was trying to rob a store, but he ain't have a gun though. You know what I'm saying? And they killed that man. You know what I'm saying? So it's like nobody can tell me how the fuck I'm supposed to feel about that situation or about police in general. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like I had to watch his mama cry. I had to tell his little bro that I got him. You know what I'm saying?
And so many times, like in the experience of, us coming up, it's like we have to go through that time and time again to the point where people become numb of that. And it's really and they really normalize it, and it's like all just built up trauma. How do you feel about just like mental health? People talking about going to therapy and stuff like that.
First step of therapy and all that shit is you gotta be willing to go. For our generation, we have to be willing to go. I feel like we're not ready to go. Maybe because we still young right now, so we ain't trying to hear that shit. Yeah. But eventually we're gonna have to go. You know what I'm saying? We be trying to numb it out with drugs and fucking running around like fucking weirdo and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like doing shit like we know we're not supposed to be doing. You know what I'm saying? Just to be, don't even think about certain shit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like we suffer that as a generation as a whole. But you think about our parents' generation, you know what I'm saying? We talk about that shit all the time. Yeah. What did our parents' generation teach us? It's a domino effect. So that was the 90s, right? You know what I'm saying? Most of our parents was fucking teenagers in the 90s.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? So then it's like, what was their parents teaching them? What was our grandparents teaching our parents? All that shit falls down. So now when we have kids, what can we teach our kids? Right now, as a generation, only thing we can teach our kids is to get money.
Do you see yourself having kids?
Hell no.
Not right now? Or just ever?
I'm saying this right now, it's 25. I don't think the world's going to be in a better place for me to want to bring in another human being to this fucking planet, bro. I don't. Now, if the world makes another turn or some shit, we out here good, healthy, Michael Jackson, TT, cool, you know what I'm saying? Hell yeah, you know what I'm saying? But while there's out here motherfuckers killing each other, running each other over and shit, doing some more off the wall shit, I don't want to bring no human being to that shit. Now, hey, that's just my opinion, though. You got kids? That's beautiful. I love that shit. You know what I'm saying? I love little kids. But I feel bad for them at the same time because I feel like they don't know what the fuck they're about to get into. And then we're going to have to point the finger at them and they going to be like, you don't have to fix this. That's not fair.
I feel that because sometimes I be thinking like, damn, like sometimes I be waking up and I be like, damn, I'm up in some shit that I ain't really like. I'm just here, like you know what I'm saying? Like I just woke up and this is what it is. And it's like you don't really understand it sometimes, just as like what reality or existence even is, or just I say a lot of the times to people what consciousness is in the human, like in the human experience. What is consciousness? Like you know, like just woke up, really.
What is consciousness? What do you think consciousness is?
What do I think consciousness is?
A little bit in here, you know what I'm saying?
Man, sometimes I feel like consciousness is like a simulation.
Okay, so kind of like the Matrix or something?
Yeah, like this computer right here, right?
Okay.
The computer right here, it can do a bunch of different shit. It can record music, it can edit music videos, it can get on the internet, you can watch things. Yeah, you can watch like a memory base almost. Like the brain is the internet, quote unquote, with everything on the internet. But the body is the function of the computer, what it you know, what it does almost, you know. Yeah. Now, if we're real or not is up for debate. And for the conspiracy podcast, but like, but as far as the human experience, we still love, we still hate, we still have feelings, emotions, we still experience pain. So, do I think we're a computer program all the way 100%? No, maybe not. I hope
what's
not.
The percentage, if you could gauge it in a percentage?
I hope not.
Like 70-30, 70%.
I think it's more possible than not because sometimes shit doesn't make sense to me when I be outside. Just how I see things, like I see people that are a little too similar to people that I've known in the past, just the way they look, the way they act, like stuff like that. You know, I'm like, man, there's so many people in the world, like someone's bound to look alike. I don't know. I just I think a lot, and I think that, you know, the human experience is amazing and it's something to be observed with science more than anything. But I feel like people do turn to things like religion and things like shit, man, even, you know, exploring space and stuff like that. They'd rather try to figure out what's beyond the stars as opposed to figure out where we came from.
Right. That's
because I think
about the ocean too.
You know,
we know what?
More about we know more about space than we do about the ocean for sure.
That says a lot. You know what I'm saying? That says a lot. To me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That says a lot. Which is dope because our mind can go to those places though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To where we want to go explore outer space.
But see, already on Earth, we have a place that's almost like the upside down, the you know, it's under the, like, bro, you see shit under the sea. It's like you don't know what's under there. We only seen the surface of it. You really can't explore that.
Right.
You know. So, you know, I think that like it is amazing, and I think that needs to be explored a little bit more. But
for sure.
So we talked about, you know, you read books, we talked about the human experience and all kinds of stuff. Now I want to get back into music a little bit. You know, what are some of the music that you're inspired by recently? What are some of the things that you've been listening to?
A lot of old school music. Like I'm going back to like childhood shit. You know what I'm saying? Shit my grandma used to be playing and shit.
Yeah.
Or my grandpops used to be rolling in church or some shit.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like Rolls Royce type shit.
Okay. What's like the main song you've been playing? Or artist?
Shit. Recently, I listen to a lot of motherfucking R&B, bro. So it's like everybody who dropped this year R&B. So I listen to Breezy. I listen to Beyonce's new shit, Giveon or some shit.
How'd you feel about Beyonce's album? Did you really listen to it like that?
Yeah.
Did you like it?
Yeah, it was cool. Like a 7 and 8 out of 10.
7, 8 out of 10. Okay.
Okay. But it's the Act 1. It's the Renaissance.
Who else dropped? Who else dropped?
Brent Faiyaz and fucking Chris Brown.
Okay, so I did hear Brent Faiyaz's album.
Right. Wasteland.
How'd you feel about it?
I fucked with it.
You liked it?
I didn't fuck with it. I ain't gonna say I didn't fuck with it. I fuck with it. But there's only like a few songs I'm gonna go back to it and actually play. I'm not gonna listen to it top to bottom. Like Fuck the World, Brent Faiyaz, I can play that shit top to bottom.
Top to bottom?
Easy call.
For sure. Okay. What about like things? Because like some of my favorite music from him was like the EPs that he was dropping.
Yeah.
You know,
Lost and that type of shit.
Lost.
AM Paradox and shit.
Yup. You know, his EPs, and I feel like now that he's grown and has like lived like a rock star type lifestyle, it's a lot more like, I don't know. He's just seeing. He's talking about what he's experiencing, and the music is kind of in the mood that he's in.
Right.
And I'm not gonna say it's not for me, because there's definitely things that I do go to, but it's songs that I've heard already. It's songs that have been out for a year. You know, for sure. So it's like the lead singles were my favorite songs, and there was nothing that really like exceeded my expectations for the other filler songs.
Right.
Almost, you know. So I did like Brent Faiyaz's album. I did like Chris Brown's album. Chris Brown's album was pretty good. What about hip hop? You listening to anything recently in like newer hip hop? Kendrick's album.
That's about it.
Kendrick, Mr. Morale.
That's it.
That's your favorite album?
Hell yeah, without a doubt.
Okay.
Without a fucking doubt.
How do you feel about Kendrick and where he's been? Like how he's evolved since.
I mean,
you know,
it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's like really watching history. You know what I'm saying? And we can really get to see his experiences versus just him doing the cliche shit, fucking running around getting yachts and shit. Like that's not his story. Versus so is Drake. You know what I'm saying? If we want that story, we got Drake for that.
Bro got a crown.
Bro got a crown. A $10 million joint. Crown of Thorns. Let's not be confused. Like
Crown of Thorns. Yeah.
That's different. That speaks volumes.
Yeah.
But that's why I like that he got it, because it's an iconic figure. Where is that iconic from? Religion.
Right.
So he's saying, if I could be Jesus, you could be Jesus too.
Okay.
So then if everybody could be Jesus, what power does Jesus hold?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So look.
Right.
So I remember we were talking about earlier about, you know, creation, the human experience, and then you were talking about earlier. I wanted to ask you, do you believe in like God? Do you believe in that there's a God, or what do you feel like?
So.
Did you just call God that nigga?
No, I did not.
No, he
Did I?
You say you believe in that nigga God? Yo, that's crazy.
Did I say that?
Fucking you off the Drake like that, nigga?
No, I don't think so.
Like that, nigga?
All right, hold on.
You call God a nigga?
I don't believe in God. He's addressed by someone
Oh my God, no. All right, so question, so do you believe in God?
Yeah. I know that didn't sound like confident at first, but yeah. I do.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes I believe that I could become a god as well.
How do you feel about religion itself?
Oh shit. Like, unbiased opinion? So religion is some old bullshit, of course.
The overall structure?
Just the fact that No, okay, see, now it's the Drake. I'm sorry. It's the Drake. I was about to snap. Hey, look. So look, religion is cool. Alright, cool, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it only gets to a point where motherfuckers like push that shit on you. Like, if you ain't Christian, you ain't shit. If you ain't Muslim, you ain't shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When certain people from them religions do that, you basically a gang. You're a peace gang. That's what I call religions. I think they're like peaceful gang members. Like spiritual warriors almost.
Okay.
In a way. Because they believe in a faith. Right? Whatever that faith may be. The stories are all the same. They're just written differently. You know what I'm saying?
I like what you said earlier. It depends on who you ask.
Yeah, it does depend on who you ask. It does. Because I could say I could believe in God, but you ask somebody like my uncle, you know what I'm saying? He says he's a God. Because he believes he's a deity. He believes that believing in another God takes away power from yourself as a human being. Because he dwells on how much power you have as being a being. If that makes sense. So he's in like that type of headspace when you talk about religion and shit like that.
Okay.
So like, but his whole thing is, it's like, amen is amun. Right?
Okay.
So amen, A-M-E-N, and then amun.
Okay.
But it's all a different language, but it means the same shit. Right? But certain languages and certain kind of like words, all spelling words are spells, right?
Right.
Okay. So if you put that, you can't just put that on just English. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you put that into another language, now there's certain ethnicities that could tap into certain shit.
Yeah.
Right. So kind of like Chinese people, they got martial arts. They don't really have a religion like that. Martial arts is a type of a religion for them. That's what they follow.
Where do you feel like we were created from? How do you think we got here? Like, how do you think human beings got here?
I don't know, shit.
Straight up.
I don't know about that. That's a good question. Huh?
The vagina.
Cash, your interview is over.
Yeah, Cash, damn. But yeah, I don't know. I can't answer that. Like, of course, you could easily be like, we evolved scientifically, right? Of course. That makes sense. But what would it be to say the Bible shit was true? About how Adam got here. And how woman was created pulling a rib from Adam that made a woman. You know what I'm saying? What if that was true? So it's different stories. But realistically, no, we ain't come from no fucking, the way they explained it in the fucking Bibles and shit. I don't believe so. But it's like, I feel like Bibles also create this fantasy. That's why David and Goliath is like one of my favorite like little stories in the Bible. Because Goliath is painted as this big ass, you know what I'm saying, giant, whatever. Motherfucker could have just been 6'4", and David is like fucking 5'5", so it looks like he's Goliath. You know what I'm saying? They just make it sound entertaining.
Like rap music.
Like rap music. That's another thing about literature. You know what I'm saying?
Writing scripture.
Yeah, writing scriptures, all that. And when you write something down and you're trying to give it to a masses of people, you have to entertain that shit. There's no way around it. Rap music is a good example of that. How the fuck are you gonna sit here and give me a story and you make me believe in it if it's not entertaining? You get that from little kids. Their attention span. You know what I'm saying? That's why certain motherfuckers, they sit in church and don't feel nothing that the priest is saying. They sitting in there blank face, stone cold. And all the motherfuckers in church, they be like, oh, he evil. Why? Because he don't feel what you saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's kind of fucked up. And I've seen that in churches. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, if you don't feel the presence of the Lord, then you don't belong in this church or some shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
yep.
That's not fair. That's why I feel I got so much resentment towards religion.
You feel like, okay, so you feel like, you do feel like God is real, but it's real in your own experience, the human experience, whatever.
Honestly, it's your choice. I'll say that. It's your choice as a human being to decide if you think that there's another being controlling your life or if you're controlling your life. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers to sit here and pray all motherfucking day that it's gonna rain tomorrow. And if it don't rain tomorrow, is that God's fault? Is that your fault?
Damn.
You know what I mean? Maybe the fucking weather wasn't just trying to. It wasn't raining where you was at. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about how you look at the shit.
Yeah.
You can't. I realize at 25, you can't look at the shit from a small mind no more. If you do, in this time of life we live in, and with the internet, you gonna get ran the fuck over. Because there's a lot of people that's just going with the shit. They just going with it.
Yeah.
Followers. You know what I'm saying? They actually have, you have followers on Instagram. Why do you have followers on Instagram and all these social media apps? So they can see what you're doing. Right?
And like it, and comment. It's like validation.
Right. Okay. Same thing with anything, though. A priest got to do the same shit. A priest, if you want to go and be a preacher in a church, you got to have followers. You got to have motherfuckers who believe in you. Who believe that what you saying can touch them. To make them, Lord Jesus, Holy Ghost, all that shit. Like, same shit. Same shit.
It's selling it to you. It's selling it to a generation.
They're selling hope in church. They're selling faith. That's the dark side of churches and shit that people don't really want to talk about. That's what they're selling. Some people can buy it. It does work out for some people. You know what I'm saying? Some people may be like, I got baptized and it was like, I started seeing shit. But on my standpoint, my side of the fence, it's like, I didn't have to get baptized to see shit. When you have trauma to where your homies are dying over dumb shit like overdose, not even street shit, just overdose. You start seeing shit differently. Then you get into violence, you start seeing shit differently, bro. it's not that you're starting to lose faith. It's just like I said, you're starting to see shit differently. You don't really vibe at a certain, maybe not a frequency that you used to, but it's a lot more deeper because a lot of things that happen are so close, and you can see it. A lot of people don't have that experience, which is okay. I'm not gonna condemn nobody for that, and I'm not gonna make nobody feel like they should feel how I feel. But I'm just one of those motherfuckers that pay attention.
Okay.
And what I can see, you know what I'm saying? For sure.
For sure. And then kind of going back to like, you know, we're talking about music. We're talking about the state of like. Actually, no, we were actually talking about the Kendrick album, right?
Right.
And what you took, and what you were, you know, looking at with that. What did you take away from Kendrick's album?
Man, where do I start? So, like, the first one that really hit me, like, the first listen, like, the first time I got a chance to listen to Kendrick Lamar, it was Father Time.
Father Time?
Oh,
yeah, okay, yeah.
That one really fucked me up.
Yeah.
Because it's true. You know what I'm saying? In the beginning of the song, Shorty's like, you know what I'm saying, you need to go talk to somebody. Kendrick's like, real niggas don't need no therapy. That's how we feel. We feel like we don't need to talk to nobody because we could just muscle our way through the fucking problems. But that's just how we feel as men. I don't really feel like Kendrick was just trying to narrow it out as black men or just niggas in Compton. You know what I'm saying? It's a wide span of that. It's really broad. So then when you get into that, that's how I like the beginning of that song. Then he gets to the father shit. You know what I'm saying? Because that's something he had in the beginning of the song when he said that. I feel like that's something he grew up to. It's feeling like he don't have to talk to nobody. Or when your father is watching you in the street squabble and you knowing you can't lose. Why? Because your dad is standing right here. You know what I'm saying? It's a different pressure when your homies is with you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But if your pops is watching you or your moms is watching you, who wants to get beat the fuck up in front of their parents?
Right.
So it's a different energy. A lot of people didn't have that energy, which is why a lot of people have resentment to certain things. Like, I've met niggas who've been like, I don't like cuddling with girls. You know what I'm saying? But it's funny because they've never had that affection.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, their moms have never really hugged them like that. You know what I'm saying? I've had homies like that who are just so fucked up from the trauma and shit. It's weird to do certain things like that.
Like certain things that should be normal.
Should be normal. Like cuddling should be normal. Normal shit, right? They don't believe in that type of shit. Well, it's not they don't believe in it. They just don't know how to accept that type of affection.
Right.
Same thing with like small people with, well, not small people, but people with small tempers. Why do they have a small temper? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, what happened in their childhood to make this person, you don't even have to really say anything. Just look hard at this motherfucker. And he want to beat your ass. But it's like, why? Maybe it's because this person is hurting and he don't want to see that you see that he's hurting.
Yeah.
So it's like, the fuck you looking at, bro? What you looking at me for? You can see me hurting? Well, it's like, damn, homie. I'll look away then. You know what I'm saying? I'll look away. But that's, you know what I'm saying? That's just how certain areas become. And I know everybody doesn't grow around that. I know everybody doesn't really have that upbringing. You know what I'm saying? So, which is cool. But that's how
a lot of people come up.
A lot of people come up like that, bro. And it's sad because it's.
Do you feel like I mean, I know we talked about this earlier, but do you feel like therapy is like important for people, like
at a certain point?
At a certain point, when they're ready to accept it.
When they're ready to accept it. Right now, therapy's being pushed upon right now, I feel like. And when it's a pushed upon, that's when you don't want to do it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know what I'm saying? If you really don't feel a passion for basketball or football and you're pressured to go to practice and that's something you really don't want to do, you're not going to be wanting to do it. But you'll do it, though. But you're not going to be really, like, hyped to do it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Or just anything in general. If it's pushed upon, shit, school. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you wasn't trying to do no fucking science class. You know, I'm taking that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
But it's pushed upon you, like, no, you got to get up and do your assignment. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. Did you see that?